Hey everyone, it's Max9 tutorial number 35. Jitter effects, audio drives video. Hey, well, recently we were working with audio effects, and we had figured out how to do audio effects in Jitter, and we more or less just turn them up and down with a slider and knob, which is fine, but there's other ways to do it that are more interesting, and if you've seen a music visualizer or something that reacts to music, in some ways that's more interesting. So we're going to figure out how that kind of thing works today. So let's get a new window up here and type the letter J in your unlocked patcher, and then type, what am I doing? JIT movie tilde. And we want to take this one with the tilde on here. And then, I hate when it does that. There we go. And then, since we love learning stuff, let's try out the attribute object on this. In JIT movie, we could load a movie into it, but what we'll do here is we'll type the which is the attribute, and then we'll type movie file, and that will tell it which. It says, go get a movie file, and then we just need to say the name of a movie file, and I wanted to do a crash test. Oops, not crash test. Crash test dot MOV, and if I got the spelling wrong it won't open, but if I got it right then it will. And we'll say that that is done, and then we will, what are we going to do? We'll let's get a play bar, so we can just type N, type play bar, there it is, great. And connect this to that, and then we'll put it, and it looks like it's already playing whatever it is that it's playing, so that's good. Here, I'll make this a little bigger so we can see it more easily on the learning screen. And then we'll need our JIT P window. There's one of those. I always like to hold the shift key down to keep it in scale. And we'll put this down at the bottom, so we've got a little room. Oh, there's a clue for you. For those of you who are used to using JIT movie with no tilde, I just went for the first one. But of course, this is an audio chord. It won't even attach to the JIT P window. That's good. So this is audio channel 1, audio channel 2, and of course, video. So connect the video up to the P window, and there it is. But hey, we can't hear anything. What's going on? Let's type an N. We'll put EZDAC with a tilde, and an EZDAC puts itself there. Thank you, EZDAC. I'll make that a little bigger. So that we don't blow our ears out while we're doing this. Another object, type the letter N, and type gain tilde, and we get a nice little gain control there. Always make sure when you use the gain that at least while you're setting it up, that remember gain is monophonic, so only this one over here actually has an output. So we're going to hold the shift key here and put it in the left and right, and extra, the left and right output, so that it comes out, it'll be monophonic, but it'll at least be coming out both speakers. And then we can just hook the audio to it's just not going to do it. There we go. To the gain, and I'm going to hook this audio to the gain as well. so we can hear it. And we'll lock our patcher. So that's what this movie sounds like, and I'm going to turn it back down, which is why we put a nice gain here. Unlock my patcher, and I don't know why I always have to do things like this, neatening up, but I do. All right, so what we're going to do is run the audio out into a new object, and it's called, what is it called? Average. It's called average, AVG tilde. And the only thing about average is, so what does average do? Let's talk about that first while we hook up the left and right audio to it. The audio goes up and down, especially in digital audio. One could say it's very, very spiky as it goes up and down. And what average will do is make a smoother sort of roller coastery line out of it. Not completely smooth, but a little bit more smooth. And then we'll put type the letter F to get a float box, and we'll put that underneath. And or is it a signal box? It's a float box. Got to be a float box. And you'll notice it's not doing anything, and that's because we need our old friend Metro. So we'll type an N, we'll put in Metro. We'll make it go 40 milliseconds. That's about 25 frames per second. Good speed for this. And now this little trick, if you have Metro selected and you put your mouse up here, but then you hit Shift and T for toggle, you get a toggle that is pre-attached to your Metro. So now we just hit it, and there it is. We see this thing going up and down, and it's a fairly consistent noise. It's going up every now and then. It seems to almost make it to 0.1. Yeah, just barely. So I'm going to say we're expecting anything out of here from about 0 to 0.1. And that's important because in order to make this do something, we'll need to scale it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. First, we need an effect. And I'm going to keep it simple because I like to leave all the effects for your exploration. So I'm going to use the type of J. I'll use Berkosa again. It's good enough for demonstration. And we know that Berkosa is an effect. I'm going to stick it in the chain here by hitting Shift and just sliding it in there, and there it is. But how do we change Berkosa? Well, if we highlight it and then we come over here to reference, we can see that Berkosa, which means brightness, contrast, and saturation. Why don't we do contrast? I think that'll show up really well on this video. So we could do a prepend brightness, or we can do a message by typing M, not brightness, I should say contrast. Contrast, and then string, which is $1. So this message is equivalent to a prepend contrast. So we can put this like that, and then here we'll just put this over here because we're expecting something here. So I'm going to type another float, an F for float here. Actually, I'm just going to move all these up a little bit. And this, and that leaves us space for one more object in between here. So let's look down here at this. So when we have a 1, I'm just going to enter a 1 so we have the right place to start. If you turn contrast down towards 0, it gets to just gray. There's now no contrast. And if you go negative up to 1, that is a negative image of it. And you can even go a little further, believe it or not. There's like 2.5, 3, 4. Exciting. And what happens if you go the other way? Let's say up to, about up at 4 is kind of its peak effect. So I think when we do this, we could say that whatever this thing's running, our output, we're probably going to want it between -4 and +4. So we'll type in N. Whoops, we'll unlock our patcher, and then we'll type an N, and then we'll type scale, and we will then type 0. Oops, that's an O. 0.0, because average is just giving out a positive number here, and it's from 0 up to, as we can perceive it, almost up to 0.1, but not quite. Let's just make it 0.1 for the moment and see how things go. And then the next number, we said we'd like it to go from maybe -4.0 up to 4.0. So, and now if we run this in here and this out here, so we can see that has quite an effect. It's just blasting it from one end of the scale to the other. Now, if that is not the effect we want, and it's pretty cool. I mean, we'll turn the sound up so we can see how it. Right. So, let's see how the numbers sort of affect this. Oops. I'm trying to move this out here so we can get a little more space at it. So we're not really going to monkey around too much with the minimum number, because 0 is going to be pretty close to 0. But it is possible that if we changed the maximum input number down, it would make the other numbers go up. So we have 0.1 here. I'm going to say, if you move your pointer over to the right, you can get a finer degree of change. So now, instead of 0.1, we're at 0.07, which makes it a little more fierce. And the further down we go, you'll see it really starts to jump, because it barely takes anything to reach its maximum. And then it's putting out these rather large numbers. So I'm going to say, let's leave this at 0.8 for a minute and think about what these other numbers mean here. And because this is the minimum number of the output, and this is the maximum number. So if we just actually entered a 0 here, then when the incoming number was 0, this number would be 0, right? So let me just make sure yeah. So as soon as the sound stopped, this has a 0 output and it goes gray, which is kind of nice. And maybe we could make this less severe, right? So now it's more of a subtle, right? Or we can go the other way around and we could say, well, we'll make this one the high output one, and then we'll make this one the 0. Oops. So the louder it gets, the louder it gets, the closer to 0 it gets. Yes, and the quieter it gets, then it goes full force or negative. So the louder it gets, the grayer it gets, and then the quieter it gets, the more intense it gets. So you'll find that if you adjust these around, you can, oops, they're a little sensitive. I like the ones where there's more gray and it has to kind of come out of the smoke. But as you can see, this is a great way to have the video driving the audio. So it's simple as can be. Excuse me, audio, the audio coming out of here, is now driving the effect for the video. And that's what we set out to do. So you could do this in any number of ways, but this is a really simple thing. Use average, scale it, and then use that to drive in, to modulate a parameter, as they say. So that's it. You've learned it all. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the very next video.